Well, hello, welcome back, everyone. Since YouTube apparently wants to decide what comments are put up on my channel and are not for me, I decided to do this video showing what well, not only does it does two different things. It shows you I'm getting emails and notifications of these comments, but they don't show up on the channel. They get taken down or something like that. So this is from the Indo-European Goth, and he says, my take is our ancestors are the reason why we are here. For one thing, that's obvious. Ancestor worship is to venerate the dead. And right there, it makes me think of, like, there's a difference between looking in your past at your ancestry and going, yeah, that's interesting, understanding history, where we came from, and then what to me is the problem is like dogmatic or severe patriotic, like patriotism towards your ancestry and heritage. That to me is the problem. But looking into it, like for curiosity or knowledge sake, isn't a big deal to me. Indo-European ancestor worship is to keep the memory of those before us. Poetically, those who those who no longer look upon the sun. Those who worship the ancestors carry the legacy of those who were or may have been famous. Why? So what they did is not forgotten. As I have said in a comment thread on Facebook, I am aware of my place in time. My ancestors did their part. Now it's my turn to do mine. And that's a very good point, too. Like, this point was made like by J.R.R. Tolkien, when Gandalf was talking to Frodo, and Frodo said, oh, like, I wish the ring had never come to me. I don't want to live in this time. And he said, oh, so do all who live to see such time. But that is not for them to decide. All you can do is decide what to do with the time that is given to you. And that's very true. Our ancestors had their own decisions, problems, and faults, to which we, as descendants of such ancestors, want to carry on their legacy, but at the same time face and conquer our current world problems and challenges. This is also one of the reasons behind the Indo-European concept of imperishable fame, to preserve the fame of your potential lineage, or to begin your own fame and have your descendants preserve it for generations. We live to overcome our own problems with our own lifetimes. I guess this is how we forge our identities. Some strive to be as great as the ancestors. I will agree that my ancestors would see us as odd, liking the dark side of life. My Indo-European ancestors would probably love me, as they have told me once. This is coming from a polytheistic point of view. But they would find my goth affiliation, death, and macabre as weird. Why do you admire things that are of the sunless house of the underworld? Why do you think of leaving the light of the sun over and over? My answer would be this. I have no idea how to pronounce that goddess's name. Kolyos? I don't know. I'll have to ask him how to pronounce that. The goddess who snatches souls. I love macabre things, the dark side and pain of life, because I am aware that I will leave the light of the sun. But right now, I look upon the light of the radiant sun because I am alive. Life is fragile, and it can be taken from us in any instant. We can leave... I lost my place. We can leave the light of the sun at any time we would venerate the ancestors and respect their greatness, but we should also be mindful of our own mortality, and that one day dwell in the sunless house of the underworld where sluggish rivers of black night belch forth their limitless gloom and have awe of the world around us. That's very beautiful. It's like poetry. We will be reincarnated and look upon the sun again, but we won't remember our current selves. Therefore, us, as our current selves, by Deus, I don't know how to pronounce that either, are extremely lucky to look upon the sun. I venerate you, but I live in my own time, and I have my own imperishable fame to establish. Now, they would have known that they were going to die. That's why imperishable fame is a core concept within Indo-European ideology. To either carry on the fame of your potential lineage or to establish your own imperishable fame so that you are not forgotten. What does this have to do with my Native American heritage? They too venerate ancestors. The journey to the Native American souls never stop unless they're disrupted. This is why Native Americans don't like their stuff fucked with by ignorant, mostly white people. I, as an Indo-European, don't want burial sites of the Yamna culture to be disturbed. Yes, archaeologists and anthropologists have dug up skeletons that date to their own time, but they should be placed back where they were found after genetic testing or whatever is done. But I don't want my Native American burial sites disturbed either. The U.S. recently disturbed a Native American burial site that's 10,000 years old just to build this wall. This is extremely unacceptable. Simply put, the reason for why people venerate ancestors is to carry on their legacy and so that they're not forgotten. You may argue that there will be a day when humans aren't around anymore. It's interesting to think about what would the world be like without humans. It's almost inconceivable. Now, to this I would have to say, like, I'm slightly into, like, I understand, like, looking at your past ancestry and stuff like that. I'm not really turned off by disturbing Native American burial ground, or any burial ground for that matter, especially in pursuit of knowledge or scientific or historical discovery and fact. To me, it's just calcium deposits. To me, this is the inklings of spirituality. I'm sure there are people of the three Abrahamic faiths that have a very similar notion, but the truth of the matter is like, if you go to cemeteries today, many of them have a place where they actually have dug up coffins and taken the bones out of them to make room for new people to be buried. They usually choose non-historical or a gravesite that hasn't been visited, or like the lineage ties have died. And they keep the bones and they archive them. But just so you know, if you get buried in a cemetery, that might not be your permanent resting place. They may put you in an archive of bones at some point. To me, I think this is mostly something that a person who is spiritual of any kind of given sense, that would have some kind of attachment to things that are here on this earth. It's like I think from a spiritual aspect, if you want to look at it from a spiritual aspect, look at this: once you shed your mortal coil and you go to the beyond, whatever that is, if you believe in that, what makes you think that the components that make up your body have any relevancy to that spirit that left it? Probably nothing. I mean, considering that mice chew on bones, and your bones will eventually turn to dust. different creatures and bacteria of various sorts and arrangements and types will feed on your body and bones, and eventually, actually, fossilization is not something that happens. You can't just lay a body out in a field and it eventually will fossilize. Eventually, most of the time, the majority of the time, it turns to nothing. It just goes poof. Your bones are nothing more than calcium deposits, and that too goes back into the earth. So, thank you for commenting to me. I would love to heart this comment, but I cannot because it does not show up under the video. I have not yet looked at the comment section to see if I just need to approve anything, but I'm going to make this anyway. So let's go on to the next one. I saw another one that... Here, yeah, this is one. So Lex wrote, I think sticking to the expectation of cultural heritage kind of dumbs people down. In terms of music, I tend to more of identify with 80s new wave, like the Talking Heads, and the experimental 90s and 2000 bands like Animal Collective, Godspeed, You Black Emperor, ICD Sound System. Even though there are hip-hop albums I like, I don't really identify with it that much, even though I'm black. It's not because I'm gay and identify with the Spice Girls instead, or because I'm autistic and would presumably not like mainstream music, because I like the 1975 and Lorde. I just like what 4chan/MU/ would call patriation music. I think that's how you would say that. Though I do think that it's better to try and find people that have similar like in subculture that also have a similar background in terms of ethnicity, not because we should judge people on race and ethnicity, but more of to prevent being egocentric in a way that trashes an aspect of your culture that unintentionally alienates you. A specific example of someone that is black that does trash on black culture is Jesse Lee Peterson. Oh, he chalks trash on fucking like everyone that isn't conservative. He's like, ugh. Jesse Lee Peterson is interesting. He's an interesting individual indeed. However, he trashes it as a fundamentalist Christian. That's it right there. He's a fundamentalist Christian and has fundamentalist Christian views. Even though personally I haven't actually looked for other black people that have similar taste in music as I do, because I'm generally introverted, I'm still interested in experiencing the art and culture that come from alternative black communities. An example that I have found and like is Devontae Haynes' Blood Orange. And well, I think that for the reasons stated, to prevent egotism or egocentrism, I think it's important to associate with like-minded people of other ethnicities and races to make you aware that the state of mind or consciousness is it's different on an individual basis. It's not different because of ethnicity. And I think that's the important thing to understand, is that you can find like-mindedness in people of different ethnicities or people of the same ethnicity. The ethnicity isn't of most importance. It's finding people that you can relate and identify with. So, I mean, I wouldn't say, like, no, you shouldn't go out and try to seek other black people that are like, I would never say that. I would never say that. I absolutely would understand that to a level and degree. And again, I would heart this. I heart comments. The reason why I heart comments is to signify that I have read them. That's why I do that. Say, hey, I read your comment. So that's why you see me hearting comments that I don't always agree with, is because I'm saying, hey, I read your comment. And there was one that was left by Chick Micken, but don't see it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pause this for a second. I'm going to go and look for Chick Micken's comment. Alright, so I couldn't get Chick Micken's to pull up in the email, but his comment was, and you know, like, I know Chick Micken, like, politically, on a political, like, social political level, disagree. We also disagree on a level of, like, atheist versus theist. But I do not believe in censorship at all. Words do not, they're not harmful. Ideas can be bad, like, I mean, there's bad ideas, but censorship on this kind of level is ridiculous. That's why I'm making this video. And you know what, Chick Micken is going to be included in that because he tried to comment, and there's nothing wrong with this comment at all, and it should have been published. I'm staunchly against censorship. That's something that we fought against in the 90s. We didn't want Marilyn Manson, Tool, Korn, Nine Inch Nails. We didn't want them to be censored. Okay? But Chick Micken said, I can tell you have severe anxiety disorder. The last thing I want to do is have a victimhood contest, but I do too. One of the things that helps me get by, helps him get by, is remembering that he's not special. Well, I don't think anyone is special in the same sense that I think everyone is unique. And it's the fact that a human being is unique. It makes them finite, which makes life precious. I, as an anti-theist, you know, I do not believe that there's a great beyond. I think there's a lot of evidence stacked in favor of my what I think, but be that as it may, from my perspective, life is, like any human being's life, is so incredibly unique and finite that I cannot possibly rationalize taking another person's life unless it's in self-defense. I mean, that's part of it, but even though we aren't special, we're both unique. And, you know, I started thinking about this, I was thinking about this, Chick Micken, is that if we actually spent more time thinking about what commonalities we have rather than our differences, we might get along. Just a thought. Again, I would heart this comment if I could, but and comment back, but I cannot, so I'm doing it in this video. So I'm not gonna say my end thing that I do, because I just wanted to make this video and show the comments that were left out for no real good reason. Alright, before I go, I really want to address this, that these comments were removed arbitrarily, yes, and so YouTube is doing these weird funky things, but there is a way around it. We don't have to succumb to this. So, now, for the regular subscribers of mine, if you would like, I can do this again. I can make videos about your comments and sort of respond to them via video in real time. And all you have to do is you can email me the comment. So it's just jinks462@gmail.com, just like my YouTube name, jinx462@gmail.com. You can email me your comments, and I can read them out loud and respond to them in real time if you like. I don't have a problem with that. So until YouTube fixes it, like, I will continue to do this. Another thing I've done in the past is if YouTube has arbitrarily deleted a comment, I have copied and pasted it in the comment section, basically saying, you know, please do not censor the comments for me. Thank you. I'm an adult. I will look over the comments, and so far to date, I have not blocked, banned, or reported anyone commenting on my videos, because I just, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it's really easy, like, if, like, with that stupid pedophile Mike guy, I just got to a point where I just ignored him. I mean, that's just really easy to do. It's simple, and it exudes very little effort on my part. All I have to do is stop caring. So I don't understand this whole censorship concept, and I think it really needs to fucking stop. It really does. It needs to stop. Alright. I think if you're at a point where somebody's comments and opinions are hurting you, which they can't physically hurt you, give you some kind of emotional turmoil, you need to get your life together. The most emotionally painful thing that ever happened to me in my life was the death of my little brother. So if you can, like, I doubt you can top that. I seriously doubt you can top that with words. So let's think outside the box and get around this, because I refuse to capitulate to this. So feel free to email me your comments if you like, or if you like, you can do it this way, like you can put the comment and I can get the email. I can just copy and paste it on the video and say who it's from. Alright, that's it.